Hey guys, welcome back to the AWS Cloud Demos. So my name is Murli and I'm a AWS Solution Architect. So in today's demo, we will look into AWS Systems Manager, Session Manager. So basically, what is a Session Manager? So Session Manager is a fully managed service that allows you to manage your Amazon EC2 instances and on-premises instances and virtual machines through an interactive one-click browser-based shell or an API. Okay, so we will look into how we will use it using a browser-based, and also we will look into how we will use it using a CLI. Okay. And then what is the primary use case of Session Manager? The Session Manager is used to provide a secure, auditable, and easy to use remote access to your instances without the need for an external bastion host or an SSH keys. So you wouldn't have to maintain the SSH keys to log into your EC2 instances. So and also Session Manager provides a granular permissions, automated session logging, and you can store your logs in your CloudWatch, and we will see how we will use the CloudWatch logs. Okay, and also it enables the strong encryption of data in transit to help you meet your compliance and security requirements. Okay, there's some of the use cases are like so troubleshooting, so auditing, access control, compliance, the remote work, and there's a lot. Okay, so basically we will see a new way of using your EC2 instances. All right, so without further ado, so let's jump into the demo. So this is my EC2 console, sorry, the AWS console. I have already logged into my console. So if you have not, please go ahead and open up your aws.amazon.com and log into your console, and let's go ahead and type out the CloudWatch logs. Okay, so let's create a log group before we begin this demo. So let's create a CloudWatch log group so that we will be using this CloudWatch log group to log our so basically we will use this for auditing. Okay, so now you're on this CloudWatch log screen, log groups screen, like you see here. So click on create log group, and then type something like EC2 session manager. It's up to you. I just put EC2 session manager, never expire, and that looks good. Just go ahead and create a log group. All right, so now that we have created the EC2 session manager log group, um, now let's go ahead and create a IAM role. So basically we want to assign a IAM role to our EC2 instance so that our session manager will be able to access the EC2 instance. Okay, so on your IAM dashboard, now go ahead and click on roles. Now click on create role. Now what I'm going to do, select the AWS service and EC2 and click on next. And now here what you're going to do is click on this create policy on the right side. Just click on that. It opens in a new tab. Now click on the JSON. So I already have a policy, okay, which I have created previously, so that you will be able to create that on your side as well. Okay, I'll paste the link in the description box below so that you can straight away copy the IAM policy and paste it in your use case, and make sure that you are using the right region. Okay, so once you're happy with this AWS policy, the IAM policy, so once you are seeing on the visual editor, you can see all the permissions that I'm trying to give to my EC2, where I'm giving the systems manager, EC2 messages, CloudWatch, so all such permissions. Okay, so and also S3, but in your case, you do, for this demo you might not need for the S3 because we are not storing any logs in the S3 at the moment. Okay, so now click, once you're happy with this, just go ahead and click on next tags. So you don't need any tags. Click on review, and now I'm going to create a policy called SSM policy, SSM EC2 policy, and click on create policy like that. Okay, now that you have your policy has been created, and now go back to the type EC2 here. Let's launch a EC2 instance. So basically we will launch an EC2 instance without a SSH key. Okay, that's the whole point of this demo, right? So we want to launch as EC2 instance without an SSH key so that our session manager will take care of logging and auditing and all that stuff. Okay, now I'm going to give my name EC2 server, EC2 server. It's up to you what the name that you want to choose, and make sure that you choose Linux operating system and also 64-bit and T2 micro, because this is a free tier eligible. So if you are using free tier, please go ahead and use T2 micro. And then for the key pair, so as we discussed, just click on the drop down and just click proceed without a key pair. Okay, so because we don't need to maintain the key pair. Alright, and now in the network settings, right, you can see the firewall, so the create security group and allow SSH traffic from, right, just disable this because we are not allowing any SSH traffic from our EC2 for our EC2 instance, right. So we won't allow HTTP traffic from the internet because we are trying to use the browser based and connect to the EC2 instance. Alright, so now it is selected. Scroll down a bit and expand the advanced details, and now in the IAM instance profile, so we will now give the permission. Okay, so click on this drop down, and if you scroll down, so you should be able to see the permission. So I don't know why we are not able to see that. I think I have created a policy, but I have not attached a permission to my role, right? So that is the reason why it is not appearing there. So I think go back to your IAM console and type out SSM. Okay, there you go. Now I'm able to see the EC2 policy. I just clicked refresh. So for some reason it did not appear previously, but anyway, we can see that policy right here. Okay, just select the policy that you want to apply to your role, and click on, scroll to the bottom and click on next. Okay, and then create a role name which is SSM EC2 role. All right, and then click on create role. So once your role has been created, right, so you can go back to your launch EC2 instance page, and we were not able to see our policy previously here. You just click refresh again, and you should be able to see the policy that we have just created. Okay, SSM EC2 policy role. So just select that SSM EC2 role, and then I think it looks good. You should be able to launch your EC2 instance, and just check your EC2 instance once you have given everything correctly or not. So you should be able to use allow HTTP traffic but not SSH, and proceed without a key pair because we are using a session manager. And make sure you're selected T2 micro, a free tier eligible EC2 instance, and everything looks good. Go ahead and launch instance. So now that you have launched instance, view all instances, just refresh a couple of times, you should be able to see your EC2 instance running. Alright, so once your EC2 instance is running, so now that we have created a EC2 instance, so what we will do is go to systems manager, like so. So this is our AWS Systems Manager. So we will go to Session Manager on the left side. So as you can see in the node management, you can see the Session Manager here. So click on the Session Manager. So if you're not able to find it, right, so the easy way that I pretty much use every time is I'll go to EC2. Okay. Now instance running. So click on the EC2 instance that which is running. So which we have created previously. So now click on connect, and I'll go to SS Session Manager here and click on preferences. Alright, so it opens in a new tab, so where it will take you directly to the Session Manager. Yeah, this is the shortest way that I use to go to the Session Manager. And now on the Session Manager screen, right, so in the preferences, go ahead and click on edit. Basically you should be enabling CloudWatch logging, because you remember we have created a log group previously, so we will log our SSH session into our CloudWatch. Okay, so now click on enable and upload the session logs. Select the upload session logs, and then choose the EC2 Session Manager. This is our log group. Just go ahead and select it, or just click on enter the text box. Encrypt log data is set to true. Itself is not encrypted. You just uncheck this because you don't want any encrypted anything using a CMK, but we can do that in the next later videos. But for now, you just disable the enforce encryption and then use the log group in the text box below, or you can choose it from the display list here. Okay, once you're done, you can also send logs to the S3, but for now, for this video, I'm not doing anything. I don't want to send anything to S3, and click on save. So once you have said you have enabled the CloudWatch logging, which is great, and go ahead and click on sessions and refresh a couple of times, you should be able to see your EC2 instance right here in the session manager. So what we're going to do is click refresh. I don't think you will see anything here unless you start a session. So click on start session here. Select the EC2 instance, EC2 server that you have, which is currently running, and then start a session. So there you go. Now you have started a session with a session ID and also the instance ID. You can copy the instance ID if you want, and then there you go. You have started. So we can now try commands like the pwd, the present working directory, and we can type something like ls. So which will list all the directories under your current directory under home. And then we can try any other Linux command. I'm just trying a couple of commands, and we will try and terminate this, and we will check the CloudWatch logs. Okay, so you can also do something like echo, and then we can terminate this now because we have tried enough commands now. Okay, so what we can do now is go to CloudWatch and then see the logs. Okay, click on terminate the instance. All right, so if you refresh, so if you go to session history, if you refresh, right, you can see the instance that we have just created, um, which is this, right, and it is being terminated, and you can click on the CloudWatch logs on the right side. So if you scroll this onto the right, you can see the CloudWatch log. Click on that and you will be taken to the CloudWatch logs, the log group that we have created, and we will see all the logs from our EC2 instance inside the CloudWatch log. Okay, so expand this, and now you should be able to see. So the first command that we have tried is pwd, which is user bin, right, and then we have tried something like ls, and there you go. You see all the output. All your session is being logged, right, and also we have tried psaux, and you can see all the results over here, and and we have done echo Murli, and you can see the Murli, right. So basically the point is we are trying to use EC2 instance in a session manager so that you will be able to work with your EC2 instance without having to maintain the SSH keys or anything. So you will also log your EC2 instance, the whatever the commands that you're typing, right. So you can log everything for auditing purpose and compliance and governance or whatever. Okay, so now that we have successfully did do the demo on a session manager from the browser point of view, right, so we can now do it on a CLI, AWS CLI. Okay, so for that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to my user. So let's create a user because I will. So let's go to IAM and select IAM, and now go to users. Click on users, add users. So I'm gonna create a user called dev. Click on next. Manage console. So I don't think you need the provide user console is just a CLI, so you don't need to give the access. Add user to the group, copy permissions, attach policies directly. So we don't have a policy for the user who can start a session. Okay, so for now we just create a user to attach directly and go ahead and click on next, and then create user. So we will now create a user. Okay, and then we will use something called a we will create a role, or let me click on dev and attach permissions, add permissions, attach policies, create policy. So I'm going to create a policy where the user will be able to start a session, okay, from CLI. Okay, this is the permission that we need to give. SSM, okay, systems manager. Okay, that's it. So that's a system manager, and then we will choose whatever we need. Like, let's say I want to select all the system manager actions. Okay, and then with the resource, specific resource, any in this account, or maybe I'll just try something like services systems manager. That's fine. but actions I will say SSM. We can say SSM start session. Yeah, that's the one I wanted to give. Okay, so once you have given start session, okay, for the system within the system manager, specific resources, and select instance. Basically we need a permission to connect to the instance, so I'm selecting an instance, any in this account. So you can see this instance ARN here, so copy that and then go ahead and click on next. Okay, that looks good. And add tag. No, I don't need any tag. Next review. Remove the tag. Next review. SSM user session. SSM user session. And then we will give system manager instance ID. Okay, and click on create policy. All right. So now that you have created the policy, go back to your users page where we are trying to add the permissions, and now select and just refresh. You should be able to see your SSM user session. All right, so select the user session and attach this permission to your user. Okay, so that the user should be able to access your instance from the console. All right. Okay, so now that we have created this, all right, so we have the session manager ready, and we will use a few commands, okay, to install the session manager on your CLI. Okay, so for that I'm just copying and pasting a couple of commands. I'm going to put it in the description box below for you to run the session manager in from your AWS from your console. Okay, so I can list out the commands for whoever is using the Windows PC. We are using Mac OS and Linux, and I will add those in the description box below. So open up your console. Okay, I'm gonna maximize my window. Okay, that looks good. Okay, that is visible, I believe. And let's try few commands. I think before that, so we have created our user, right? So we need to grab our security credentials so that we can configure our user in the in your CLI, right? For that reason, so what I'm going to do is scroll to the bottom and click on the users dev, and I'm here, and create an access key. Okay, command line interface. I understand. Select the command line interface. I understand. Click on next. You don't need anything. Create access key. Alright, and download the CSV file. So you can download the CSV file if you want, or for my sake I'm just gonna copy this access key right from here, and then I will use it in my AWS CLI. Okay, for that, and come back to the your terminal and type AWS configure like so, and then it will prompt for the access key. So there you go. Once you enter here, just paste it. Oops, I think I've pasted the wrong thing. Go back to your console, copy the access key, come back to your terminal, just paste this. Okay, and now secret, and just show the secret and copy the secret and paste it. Default region US East 1 format. Alright, so don't worry about the AWS secret key and this one, because I'm going to remove the user that I've just created after this demo. Okay, so just clear out everything that you have. Now you have configured your AWS CLI. Now that it is ready for you to use, just copy paste the commands that I'm going to give you. So I'm using a Mac, so I'm going to use a Mac specific commands. So we will download the session manager bundle, and then we will use that. Okay, so now that I have downloaded my bundle, so I'm gonna unzip the session manager bundle .zip, and once it is once it completes the inflating the session manager bundle. So what we're going to use is we will be using a install command in order to install our SSM plugin. So for that, I'm going to copy a command and paste it. So I'm going to put all these comments in the description box below and just paste it. Okay, and this is your user root user, and you go ahead and use your system password. So once it is done, this will create a symlink. In my case, it already exists because I've created in my previous sessions. So it just creates a symlink, and yeah, and installation is successful. So now that you have successfully installed the session manager, so what we're gonna do, you're gonna verify the installation. All right, so for that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type um, session manager plugin, and let's see what it gives. Yeah, so the session manager plugin was installed successfully using the AWS CLI to start a session. All right, so you're now good, and go ahead and type out commands that we are going to start a session of our EC2 in our console. Okay, go to your EC2. Okay, we will copy the instance ID that we have created, instance running, and then yeah, this is the server that we have created, right? So just copy the instance ID, okay, and come here and type a command AWS SSM, and then you will use start session like so, and then target, okay, and then the instance ID, okay, and that's simple it is, and click enter. You should be able to connect to your EC2. Yeah, there you go. So now that you have connected to your EC2 instance, and this is the user that I have created, so now you can type all the commands that you wanted, like anything pwd or anything ls lah. So you can see all the files under this directory, and you can type out some commands. You can still use your CloudWatch logging. This is all logged into your CloudWatch. Okay, so there you go. So now that you have seen how you can use your session manager in the CLI, so go ahead and give it a try on your own, and you should be able to see how what benefits you get from the session manager when you use it without using, without maintaining the SSH keys. All right, and so what we will do now is we will try and tear down all the resources that we have created in our demo, right? So we will go to CloudWatch, so because we will delete all the CloudWatch logs that we have created, because I don't think you need after this demo. So just go ahead to the CloudWatch and select the log group that we have created, and let's look into the logs and then delete it. Okay, so click on EC2 manager, and this is the log stream that we have created. So if you can expand this, right, so this is what we have logged from our CLI, right? So previously we have used a root user from our browser session. Now we have used a user that we have created, so you can see all the logs which are being added to our log group. Okay, so now select the log group and delete it, because we want to tear down all the resources that we have created. Just so click on actions, delete log group, and delete it. Okay, all right, so now go to systems manager and scroll down on the left and click on session manager, and we have terminated it. So that's why you are not seeing this session, but in the history you should be able to see the session, and this is the session that we have created and terminated it, which is fine. And you can also disable the CloudWatch logging, because if you're not using it, just disable it. So yeah, just disable it and click on save, and now go to your EC2 instance. Don't forget to terminate your EC2 instance, because this can incur a lot of costs. Select running and select the EC2 server and instance state and terminate the instance. Alright, so you don't need this instance anymore. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you liked it. So please give it a like, please share it, please subscribe to my channel. I will put more and more content. Please don't forget to comment down in the section comment section below. So please share my videos, and I will try and create more content like this, and I hope you will enjoy it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.